together. Okay, blink, blink. So we realized in black and white that our relationship had some serious flaws. But I was committed. I was loyal. I loved him. He was a good man. And I was about to graduate college. I was going to be alone again. Where would I go? Where would I live? How would I take care of myself? I wasn't going to have college grants anymore. And he was changing, right? He was changing. He was willing to do the work. So we continued to date seriously. I was waiting for the ring. He proposed. We got engaged. And then came the wedding day. I remember on the day of my wedding, I was getting my hair done with my sisters and my two best friends. And I had a phone call from my husband-to-be. My best friend handed me the phone and he started talking to me about some money that we had to pay for one of the vendors. And he got very frustrated about the money situation. And it quickly turned into a real argument, one that my best friend had witnessed many times before, to the point where she finally took the phone from my hand and said, "Let's take this and we'll just see him at the church." And we exchanged a silent look that said a million words, but didn't change anything. 2 hours later, I was in the elevator headed up from the room where I was getting dressed for my wedding. As the elevator went up slowly, my stomach dropped slowly. I had a sense that I was making a mistake, but it was far too late. Where would I live? Where would I go? Having someone to live with and to take care of me was better than being alone, right? I'd never been taken care of my whole life. At least I would have somebody at the end of the day. What was love anyway? I've never really seen a picture of marriage. I would do better. I'd be able to love him. And once we were living together, it would be better. He wouldn't be so stressed all the time. And, things would be cheaper because we'd be sharing our expenses and he wouldn't be so worried about money and work all of the time. Yeah, he had a little bit of anxiety, but I'd be with him and I'd be able to help him handle it. We'd start having sex now that we're married. That would fix things, right? I walked down the aisle. It was beautiful. We exchanged our vows. We had a beautiful wedding day. And then we were married. But within a couple weeks of being married, I was pretty sure that getting married wasn't going to fix those red flags I had seen before, but now I was in the thing. Now I was married. It was a covenant between me and him and God. And God had never let me down, and I certainly wasn't going to let him down. I was loyal. At this point, I actually worked for our church full time, so now I'm working in ministry. I certainly have to uphold my marriage vows. There were a few times that I would share with some people some of the ways he would speak to me, how he sent me to the front desk during our honeymoon because he wasn't happy with the accommodations. He thought it was going to be nicer for what we had spent, and he really thought maybe we should just go home instead of spending the money. And so he sent me to the front desk to find out how much it would cost to go home and how much money we could get back if we left right then. And the concierge said, if you go home, you'll forfeit everything you've spent. So I returned and told my new husband that we wouldn't get any money back if we decided to leave early. And he said, fine, we'll stay. Awkward silence ensued for the rest of the afternoon, until he was ready for sex, of course. It was like that a lot of the time. Pent up frustration over money